Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Saturday stream. My name is Derek Clifford. I am the founder and CEO of Elevate Equity. And today we have a great topic to talk about for those investors out there who may be a few steps ahead of the others in getting ready to visit a target market when investing out of state. And so in general, a lot of this advice is tailored towards those investors who are really getting out there and they are looking to do this more actively rather than passively. So they want to buy their own smaller multifamily complexes or single family homes, building up a portfolio and a capital stack that way. That's kind of where this video is really geared towards, okay? So the first thing I wanted to talk about when visiting the market is, when is it appropriate to visit your market? How do you know that you're actually ready to do that, okay? So we're going to talk about that. You have to have your criteria selected first. So until you understand what type of property it is exactly that you want to buy, that's what you're going to have to do. When you select that type of property that you want, the ideal property, and narrow it down to a few criteria such as purchase price, rental income amount, part of town, something. You got to have something. You got to have some sort of focus so that when you actually do sit down to talk with some of these people that you're going to be visiting in the market, that you have some sort of benchmark to be able to say, this is what I'm looking for. And even if it's not correct, then at least you have something that you've done some research for, and it will help really let the people that you're meeting know that you are serious and that you understand what it is that you're looking for. The second is you got to understand your risks. If you understand what risks you're going to take and what type of property you're going to take on, that'll help guide the overall decision as to whether or not you want to take on a really heavy rehab or just something that's more stable but maybe less profitable, okay? The other thing is that you want to understand that you've got cash and that you're mentally and financially ready to be able to pull a trigger when you go out there to the market. Because odds are, in order for you to really, really accelerate your investing and give yourself a lot of credibility, if you have your criteria selected, you meet the right people, and you have the cash and everything ready to go, and you're able to show that to the people that you're talking to, and you end up pulling the trigger on something while you're out there, that's going to give you a huge leg up. So it's going to be really important for you to be absolutely ready on the mindset, the criteria, and the cash piece, okay? So those are things that you can do to kind of maximize your trip's results before you even head out there. And the other thing is too, is that while you're planning the trip, it's going to be important for you to have a decent Rolodex of people that are local to the area in your market so that you can go out there and actually have a conversation with them. So before you have conversations with people, you need to know who you're having conversations with. So that takes some time and energy to build up a Rolodex of people that you think are reliable or trustworthy. And so you really got to work on that before you head out there, okay? So next, we're going to start talking about what you're going to do when you actually plan your visit, because I've assumed that you've done all of these things that we just spoke about before. You have your criteria selected, you're mentally ready to be able to go out there and purchase, and you have cash to do so, or you have a strategy in which you're ready to execute on. You understand the risks, and you have a Rolodex of people that you can start meeting, right? The second step is to plan your visit. And generally, who you want to work with is investors, property managers, and agents and brokers. Those are the three groups of people that you're going to want to prioritize when you end up going out there to the site, because these people are the most well-connected. And if you have these three references or these three types of contacts nailed down, you can solve almost every problem that you'll ever have in investing in real estate, okay? So make sure that you focus on getting your investors, property manager contacts, and your agents and brokers contacts in place, okay? When you plan your trip, be sure that you go out to your location in ideally the second or third week of the month. And we say this mainly because property managers are extremely busy in the first week of the month because they're trying to collect rent, they're posting eviction notices, they're doing 3-day notices and everything. So make sure when you go out to your market that you're doing that in the middle of the month or towards the end of the month, okay? And secondly, when you go out there, try to prioritize the entire week. So you're going to have to take some time off from work if you work a W-2 job and head out there on a Tuesday or Wednesday and spend 3 days out on site while everyone else is working their work week. That's going to really help you get going out there. Then what you do is you start calling these people about a month or two before you plan on having your trip out there. When you do that, you're going to be able to figure out who it is that you need to, who you really want to sit down and talk to. Okay. And there's going to be like, you're going to have 20 different like PM references or 10 different agent references or vice versa. And you got to figure out which one you want to prioritize actually talking to. So when you talk with them, you tell them about your availability, you ask them questions about how they run things, see whether or not there's someone that you could really like get along with, right? Or, and actually maybe in addition to, I would also ping some investors and say who they recommend, right? So at least you have one warm contact or something out there, okay? So that's what I would do too, is start calling them and figuring out their availability and start dropping them on a schedule that you create, right? Like have a 3-day calendar outline on paper or on Google Calendar or whatever, and start dropping your time blocks on each one, and give about 1 to 2 hours for each visit, and then leave about a 30-minute space for you to travel between spaces, so that way you're not late and you're not booking yourself back to back and you have to leave and it's just kind of awkward, okay? So make sure you give yourself plenty of time for travel. Next thing is, when you go do your visits, make sure when you're booking your tickets that you find local RIA meetings, find out when they're happening so that you can maximize your trip to go to as many RIA meetings as possible. Because here you have all of the people in the real estate industry in your local market going to one place. So you have to jump onto those, because if you do that and you get involved there, you're going to meet so many more people in such a condensed amount of time. So it's really important for you to go onto meetup.com or BiggerPockets or Facebook or wherever and try to find some of these local RIA meetups so that you can plan your visit around being there when that is happening, okay? And the other thing too is that make sure that for those 3 categories, investors, property managers, and agents or brokers, those 3 categories, make sure you spend an equal amount of time meeting with all 3 of them. Because again, these people are well connected and they can get you anything, right? And when you're meeting with them, feel free to ask them for references too. And some of the people you may have met before, or you have on your list to meet. And that usually gives you a good indication that that's someone that you want to reach out to and expand the relationship a little bit more, okay? I would also say too that your high priority contacts, those ones you could probably get to do meals with. So people that you see that are definitely big fish, or that you've gotten lots of recommendations from other investors or other agents or property managers, you should probably spend some time considering taking them out to breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And definitely use those excuses to eat as some way to show and add value to the people that you're trying to meet out there. I think that's really, really important for you to be able to do that, okay? And then one other thing just to remember is, while you're there, try to enjoy yourself, okay? Turn on the location history feature on your phone as well, so that way, whenever you take any pictures or while you're driving around town, you have a history of where you went and what you did. Trust me, you're gonna want that when you go out there. So make sure you flip that on. And so any of the pictures that you take on properties that an agent is showing you or that they tell you to go to, it's going to get lost in the shuffle when you're trying to pack your bags and go back home. And so having it on your phone in one central place is going to be great. And then having the location history as to where the picture was taken, most likely you're going to be standing in front of the property taking it. That way it'll be easy for you to tell where the property was in relation to others, and then gives you an extra leg up to be able to easily go in there and start analyzing the property either that day, later on, or when you get home, okay? So I think that's really important. And one last thing I want to leave you with too is that when you're driving around in the areas and you're in your local market that's out of state for you, I want you to understand, because it's a common misconception, that going out there just to drive the areas is useful. It is not. It is only useful after you have your criteria selected and you've talked with a bunch of these people that you've already spoken with. Then you drive around in those individual areas. That's really where a lot of the value comes in, because you already have feedback as to what areas are up and coming and what areas you may even have a property like that has a 24-hour advance notice, or say, hey, I'm about to list this thing, but I'm giving you first shot at it. So that's when you can go and start driving around those areas to get a feel for it. So only when you have the confirmation from property managers, agents, or you have an actual property that's being offered to you, which often happens because you're sitting there right in front of them in their office, that shows them how serious you are. They will compensate you for coming in and spending some time with them by giving you most likely a few leads that other people haven't seen yet, okay? So I would highly recommend that you plan things in that order. And If that was useful to you, I really hope it was. Please let me know about that in the comments, and like and subscribe wherever you're watching this, because I really want to have some of the feedback. And we have a lot of great stuff for you on Elevate Equity's website. You just go to elevateequity.org, or you can also click in the link of the description for this video, and you can get a free ebook that tells you the 7 ways that commercial real estate syndications can protect and build your wealth for you. Okay. So please make sure you get out there, get some of our free resources. We have podcasts, we have all that great stuff out there for more content like this. So if you want more, let me know. I'll be here. And it's Memorial Day weekend, so I'm going to go get the weekend on. I hope you guys are ready for that as well. So anyway, have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy. And we will talk to you again next Saturday. Take care, everyone.